Hello there and welcome to my review of the HyperX Cloud Alphas, and I'm going to be doing a full review telling you what I like about this headset and also what I don't like about this headset. But there's a lot to like, and sorry about this. This is Patch, my cat. He likes to do reviews with me. Okay, so first off I want to talk about what I really like about this headset, and that is the build quality. It has this aluminium frame which is really springy, so that the clamping pressure is really nice. It's when you put them on, it's not too tight, it's not too loose. You can adjust them at the side here. You can just pull the ear cups down on each side. There's a lot of adjustment there. I have a large head. At the fullest extent, these are actually bigger than I need. So these really are going to fit anybody. And because they have that aluminium frame that's really springy, they're going to be really comfortable. Patches. Keep away from my tea, please. They're really comfortable, whatever head size you are. Another thing I really like about them is they're not plasticky at all. So many headsets are pretty much all plastic. Even the plastic parts are actually kind of a rubbery material. These bits here at the side here that hold the headband in place, they're also like a rubbery to the touch material, with screws holding the bits of plastic together. It's not glued. There are screws even on the hinges here where the aluminium metal yokes, actually where the hinges are on the ear cups, these are actually screwed in as well. So they haven't really skimped anywhere on the construction I can see at all. The cables have a braided outer protective shield. You've got your foam windshield. A lot of headsets neglect that, and you can hear people's breath on the mic, so that's a nice bonus. It's bendable, and it's really tough as well. It's quality. You know, it's going to stay where you put it. It's going to stay there. So I can't fault it for build quality. It's fantastic. The recommended retail price is £100. It's a lot of money, but you're still going to be impressed with the build quality. Even these end caps here on the ear cups are like a aluminium material. You have this stitching around the headband here. That's really unusual to get that sort of detailing on even a much more expensive headsets. You do have these little cables sticking out on either side that could potentially get snagged on things. That's really the only thing to watch out for. Really, like when you put them around your neck, you can't twist the ear cups and put them on your chest, so you are kind of restricted when you've got them around your neck. Even if I extend them out as far as I can, they still kind of choke you a bit. You can you can actually remove this. I'll do that actually. You can remove the microphone and you put them around your neck like this. So you can just use them as an ordinary pair of headphones. I put this back, so simple to put it back. Again, this is quality. This is gold plated, and you just put that back in there. It's nice and secure. It's not going to fall off. I was amazed actually by the build quality, and I actually paid £60 for this headset. I got it over the Christmas period in a sale from Curry's PC World. I think they're Curry's PC World. On Amazon they were £65 at the time. Now £60 is a good price. I mean, I can't, for that money, where's the profit margin? You know, they've got to develop this, they've got to manufacture it, they've got to ship it, they've got to advertise it, the retailers have got to take their money. There can't be much of a profit margin at that price. It's amazing they can do it for that money. And I think that's why Kingston, that make this headset, that's why they're making such waves really in the headset market. It's because they're offering people really high quality headsets for really quite affordable prices. Even the packaging impressed me. I've got the box here. It's got like a matte finish to the box. It's got a gloss finish where the actual, I don't know if you can see that, where the actual headphones image is. It's actually sleeve. It's a sleeve. It comes off like this, and you've got, you know, a nice little box that opens up like this, and then you've got all your pamphlets and things inside. You know, that that costs money. That's not cheap to make. So they haven't. I don't know where they've cut back. Really, I mean, it's a great product for the price. For build quality, I'm going to give the Alphas absolute top marks. Seriously impressive.
Okay, so now from the microphone test. Now the instructions say to keep the microphone about an inch away from your mouth, which is how I have it positioned at the moment. So I'm assuming that's for optimal performance. But obviously being quite close to my mouth, you do worry about plosives. So I'll do a plosive test. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. And a sibilance test. She sells seashells on the seashore. Now, when you're gaming, having the microphone this close to your mouth can be in the way if you've got a drink with you, for instance. So I'll move it away a bit. So now you could drink, no problem. It could affect the quality of the microphone, but it could also help with plosives if that is a problem. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. I'll move it back to where they say it should be. Okay. Now I did actually patch the reappearance, right boy. Now I did actually use this headset on the bus, and it did a good job of isolating me from all the noises, people talking. I had it plugged into my smartphone. I was listening to music. The quality was very good, and also I got perfectly good volume out of my smartphone. It's actually I could actually raise the volume a lot higher than I needed. Okay, so now I'm actually going to try a different microphone. This is my Game 1 microphone. It's probably not a good comparison because this is a much more expensive headset. So Sennheiser obviously have a lot more money to build this microphone. And also Sennheiser have got a lot of experience making microphones. This microphone is actually considered by a lot of people to be the sort of the best you can get on a headset, and I can't really argue with that. Some people actually use this headset for streaming, so that shows how good it is. No, Patch, don't get no. Patch is attacking the cable. Patch. Oh dear. Okay, so now I have the. He's still getting the cable, Patch. Stop that. Okay. Okay, so now I'm on the Sennheisers, and you can hopefully hear how good this microphone is. She sells seashells on the seashore. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Now, vocal plosives on this microphone really can be a problem, because if you notice, it doesn't have little foam windshield like this has. In fact, a lot of people actually buy a little windshield like this to put on their Sennheiser microphone. Now obviously I haven't heard the results of this test myself yet, but from what I've heard of this microphone, it definitely should be quite comparable with this. Is this microphone twice as good as this microphone? I mean, the headset's twice the price, so you might think so. I seriously doubt that's going to be the case. This is definitely the best microphone in terms of sound quality, but you are paying a premium to have the better microphone, so it does show that this really is great value for money. Okay, that's the end of the mic test.
Okay, so now I'm back to using the shotgun microphone on my digital camera. Now I want to talk about comfort, because for me, when it comes to headsets, that's the most important thing. Especially when you're used to gaming for long periods of time and you don't want a headset that's going to hurt you in any way. You want them to, your headset to be as comfortable as possible. They have a nice cushion under the headband. The headset is nice and light. Even with the cable and the microphone, it only comes in at about 340 grams. So there isn't a lot of weight on your head, and there isn't a lot of weight that needs to be distributed by the headband. So even though I'm follically challenged, I still found this headband to be really comfortable. Now I actually wore this headset last night. I started gaming with my mates online at about 9 o'clock. We was playing Fortnite. Great game. It's a battle royale style game. It's like 100 people to start with, shoot each other, and eventually, there was one person left and they're the winner. It's a really popular game, great fun. Playing it quite a lot with my friends. Definitely give it a go. It's free to play. Started about 9, finished at about midnight, so that's a good 3 hours solid gaming. That's quite typical for gamers. Therefore, you're wearing this headset for long periods of time. So comfort is really key. And at the start of this review, I did say there was something that I didn't like about this headset. And that is, I don't find the ear cups particularly comfortable. They have a lovely, soft, plush leatherette material, probably the softest leatherette material I've ever come across. Some really nice soft cushions as well that give you a nice seal around your ear, which is great for comfort and also for sound quality. With a closed back headset, good seal is vital for getting a nice resonance, like deep, lower frequency sound, and you definitely get that with this headset. But what I found is that the cavities for your ears are actually quite shallow. I actually measured them and they come in at around, it's about 2 centimeters. So your ears are actually pushed against your head. With the Sennheisers, they come in at around, it's about 2.75 centimeters deep. So there's a lot more space with the Sennheisers, and my ears don't touch the drivers at all. And that means that they are a lot more comfortable. If you just push your ears back like this, just against your head, that is how it feels when you have these on. But rather than your fingers pushing your ears back, you actually have the drivers pushing your ears back. They feel like my ears are really enclosed, really encapsulated. There isn't a lot of air circulation, which means your ears do get quite toasty when you're wearing these, and that's normal for a closed back headset for your ears to get warm. But because there isn't a lot of space in there for your ears, they get warmer than most. And because my ears are being pushed back by the drivers, after a while it doesn't get to a point where my ears are really painful, like it's really hurting, but it does get a bit uncomfortable. When I was playing Fortnite with my friends, you're concentrating on gaming, so you can kind of block it out. But it is there, it is noticeable. There is a thin piece of material over the metal drivers, but it's still a hard surface that's pushing against your ears, and for hours at a time, that isn't particularly comfortable. These are my Biodynamics DT990s. These are just normal headphones, but they have an ear pocket that is, yes, about 2.5 centimeters. So you get like 0.5 centimeter more depth to the ear pocket, and because they're round rather than oval, you've got more space for the ears in general. And also, what's nice about these is they have some foam. Well, rather than just a thin piece of material over the drivers, there's actually a thin bit of foam, and that also makes a difference. So these ear cups are a lot more comfortable, I find, than the Alphas. You know, after a long gaming session, it's actually a relief to take these off, and you feel your ears cooling down, and you feel that where the pressure was on your ears. So that isn't a good sign. Now, some people have ears stick out a lot more than me, so it could be even more of a problem for some people. Now, some people have ears, their ears are quite flush to their head, and it's not going to be a problem for them. And obviously younger, like teenagers or kids that are using these, probably that's, again, it's not going to be an issue. But for adults, and I do have a large head, I am getting on a bit, and the ears do keep growing. So I do appreciate that for some people it may be much less of a problem. It's not just a headset that's made for gaming. You can take off this microphone, and that's a selling point, because a lot of people, they don't want lots of headphones. Like I have headphones for listening to music and for gaming, but some people, they just want one headset that does everything. And therefore, being able to take the mic off is a real plus. And then you can actually use these out and about. Like if you're going out traveling, you're on a train or a bus in a controlled environment, you can plug these into your MP3 player or smartphone, listen to music. Certainly a lot better than having those earbud things that stick in your ears. You do get a little travel pouch. It's got HyperX on it. This comes free in the box, so you can put them in the travel pouch, put them in the bag, get them out on the train when you're commuting or the tube, whatever. I've actually seen people using the Cloud 2s actually out and about. I saw a guy a few weeks ago going down the escalator at my local tube station, and he had the Cloud 2s. The only reason I noticed is because I saw the HyperX logo on the side, so I knew it was a gaming headset. But I think most people wouldn't have even realised the sound quality of these is good enough to listen to music. A lot of headsets, the sound quality really isn't good enough for music, but these are pretty decent. When you put them on, they are a bit bulky, so a lot of people probably wouldn't use these out and about, but some people would. And I think that's really what Kingston had in mind when they made these headsets, is more of like a really versatile all-round headset for gaming and just for general headphone use. These are closed back designs. When you put them on, you really can't hear the environment around you at all. You have to be careful of that. I wouldn't advise using these walking around in the street. People have actually been knocked down crossing the road with closed back headphones like this because they can't hear the car, they can't hear the traffic. So definitely be careful of that. The versatility of this headset is very impressive. This lead is actually detachable. I can pull that off. It's quite firm in there. This is a 1.3mm lead with the inline volume control and mute switch. And there's also another lead which is 2 meters, and this has 2 TRS connectors on the end, one for the stereo audio, one for your microphone. And this is more of an extension cable, so you actually plug this into the other cable, the 1.3 meter cable, and then that goes into your headphones. So you can actually use this with a PC, no problem. You can use this with Xbox, you can use it with any device that has a 3.5mm standard jack socket on it. One thing I would be careful of is when you put the cable in, make sure you push it in firmly, because when I first went to test the microphone on this headset, it didn't work, and that was because I hadn't pushed the leading far enough, so it wasn't making contact. So there's a little tip for you, because I was like, oh no, I've got a faulty headset, but I just had to push it in a bit further. It was fine. Now this headset has an inline volume control and a mute switch. Personally, I'm not a fan of this design, because when you've got the headset on, you tend to kind of like fumble around looking for this thing. If you want to talk to your friends, family, your partner, and you don't want people in chat to hear you, you have to kind of move this mute switch, and it's quite flush. That's so it can't be easily knocked, but it's very tricky to move. I tend to use my nail to do it, and there's a red mark there that it's exposed when you move it across to tell you that it's muted. It has a rotary volume, and this adjusts the overall volume of the audio. It doesn't affect the mic in any way. Now, personally, I prefer a different design. I like the Sennheiser design. So when you've got it on, if you want to mute the mic, you just flip it up like that. It's really convenient, and there's no inline control to mess around with. The actual volume control is on the side here. Kingston actually make a Cloud series headset. It's called the Stinger, and that's actually a budget headset. Recommended retail price is about £50, like half the price of this headset, and it actually employs the same design as this. It has a boom mic that rotates and auto mutes when you flip it up, and it has a volume control on the ear pad. For me, that's the holy grail of headset design. I just love this design. It just works so well. So the question is, why didn't Kingston use this design for the Alphas? Well, again, it comes back to versatility. I don't think they wanted a volume control on the ear cups. They didn't want a mic that could actually rotate, because then it wouldn't be easy to make it removable. But it means that it's kind of like a jack of all trades, master of none. You can use it as a headset. It works perfectly well as a headset, but it's not ideal. And you can use it out and about just as a normal stereo set of headphones, but again, not ideal. You can't really fold them up. They're a bit bulky, a bit cumbersome. But, if you just want to have one headset that does everything, that's a compromise really that you're really going to have to make. You're going to compromise a bit on comfort. They don't want to make the ear cups too big and bulky. They don't want to make them like this, where they're like round and bigger, because then it's going to put people off using them out and about. So it is kind of a compromise design, in my opinion. One that may suit you. You know, you may really appreciate that. I mean, it is a nice feature. Being able to take the mic off, it is, you know, it is a good feature to have. So it all depends what you're looking for. Now, one thing I should mention is it doesn't have side tone. Analog closed back headsets do have a bit of a problem. It's not specific to Kingston, it's specific to any analog closed back headset, and that is you can't really hear your own voice when you're using it. Like, I can put this headset on, I can't really hear my environment. It does a good job of blocking out background noise, and that can be a plus if you're gaming in a noisy environment. So there's people talking or watching TV. You don't want to hear that when you're gaming. So that's a positive. And also when you're out and about, if you do use these on the train, commuting, you're sitting next to someone, is that they don't leak any audio. You're not going to disturb anyone. But my voice is very low. I can still hear my voice, but it's quite low. So the tendency is to talk louder to compensate. It's a natural thing to do. And when you're on mic, that means you start talking louder and louder. And your partner will be, or family will be like, why are you talking so loud on that microphone? And it's because you can't really hear yourself properly. With an open back headset, like these are the Game 1s, these have a grill here so sound can get in and out. So when I put these on, I can hear my surrounding perfectly, I can hear my voice perfectly, so it isn't a problem. You know, again, it's not specific to this headset, it's just closed back headsets, they can have that problem. If it was a digital closed back headset, what they tend to do is they have a side tone so you can hear your voice. They take your voice from the microphone and actually play it into the ear cups so you can hear your voice and monitor your voice level so you don't raise your voice. So if you have been using a USB headset or digital headset, you may not even be sort of aware of it too much. It's only when you come to a headset like this that you think, wait a minute, I can't hear my voice like very well. I mean, it's a bit odd. It's just something you have to get used to, and I'm very conscious of it. When I'm in a party chatting with my friends, I just make sure I don't raise my voice. I keep, even though you're tempted to do that, it's just keep it low. I know they can hear me. Just be conscious of that when you're gaming, and then you won't annoy anybody. Okay, so I just wanted to pull up the spec sheet for the Cloud Alphas, and they are quite a respectable 65 ohm impedance, and they have 5cm drivers, neodymium magnets, so that's supposedly a good quality magnets. Now the 65 ohms is pretty good. I mean, Sennheiser Game 1s are only 50 ohms, the Cloud Stingers, I think they're about 32 ohms, which is more kind of an average impedance. So 65 impedance is pretty good, and that means you get good control over the drivers. It takes more current to drive the drivers, but you do get better control over them, and especially as they are 5cm bigger than average drivers, that's really important. And 65 ohms is fine. Plug them into standard MP3 players, tablets, and you'll get decent volume out of the headset. You don't need an amplifier for these headphones at all. Now, if you look at the frequency response for the microphone, you look at the frequency response for the headphones, it's all very respectable figures. So now I want to talk about sound quality. And here is a diagram of the dual chamber technology that is employed in the Alphas. Now, this is a real selling point for the Alphas. I mean, marketing people love this sort of thing because they can then differentiate their headset from all the other headsets on the market. And this is sort of a new design that Kingston have come up with, and credit to them for trying something different. They have a chamber that's for the lower frequencies, and they have another chamber that is for the high and mid-range frequencies. And I feel that you can actually definitely hear that when you're listening to this headset. You can hear that the low frequencies are being handled differently to the mids and the highs. I think this design definitely seems to benefit the mids and the highs. They definitely have good clarity, but the bass frequencies didn't seem that well handled to me. And the headset isn't actually that bassy for a closed back headset. Bass heads are definitely not going to be too impressed with the Alphas. The sound fidelity is good, but it's not great. Across the board it could be better, but then I am comparing them to much more expensive headsets that I do own, which is probably unfair. On average, I think most people are going to be really pleased with the audio quality of the Alphas. Audiophiles aren't going to be impressed with this headset, but the average consumer that wants a nice compromise between bassiness and also sound fidelity are probably going to be very happy. I found that the audio to be perfectly acceptable. And for the price I paid of about £60, the sound quality is excellent. And even if you paid the full retail price, I think you're still going to be impressed with the sound quality. Certainly not flat or uninteresting. For a closed-back headset, I think the soundstage is decent. It's not going to blow anyone away, and the stereo imaging is perfectly good as well. This headset does not have surround sound, and that is a bonus for me because surround sound with headsets is simulated. It isn't true surround sound. For true surround sound, you need actual separate speakers placed around your room. With headsets, they have to kind of emulate that, and it depends how well it's done. If it's done badly, it can absolutely destroy the soundstage or the stereo imaging of a headset. I actually prefer just a good quality stereo headset sound over surround sound sort of emulation, simulation. I don't really think you're going to miss not having surround sound on this headset. Okay, so with regard to the dual chamber technology, I'm not exactly sold on it. A lot of people would think it's just a gimmick. I couldn't really argue with that. I think it's really nice that Kingston are trying something different and really trying to improve the audio quality of closed-back headsets, because there really is a problem of the low frequencies kind of getting all muddied up with the other frequencies, and by having a separate chamber, they're trying to keep the low frequencies separate and to minimise the amount of muddiness that you get with a closed-back headset. Like with an open back like these DT990s, you get a much bigger, cleaner soundstage, higher fidelity sound. But then that isn't really fair to compare these two, because these are 250 ohm drivers, so they tend to have much better fidelity. These are only like, as I said, these are only like 60 drivers. It does mean that you can drive them with pretty much anything though, so that obviously is an advantage for a general purpose headset that you want to use just with like plugging them into a controller or MP3 players, things like that. Now when it comes to sound quality, it's kind of unfair of me to compare these to say my Game 1s, because these are like twice the price and they are Sennheiser. Sennheiser know what they're doing when it comes to making drivers. That isn't really, I'm not really knocking the Kingston engineers. I think they're obviously upping their game from headset to headset. They're getting better and better. And I think Kingston are definitely one to watch. I think things are only going to improve. They've definitely improved the microphone over the Cloud 2s. Now I like to give people alternatives when I'm doing reviews. I bought these for listening to music. I did plug them into my PS4 controller, and I did get enough volume out of them for them to be useful. It was pushing it a bit. You probably do really need an amp if you're going to use these when you're gaming. You can get away with it. I don't necessarily like high volume when I'm gaming, so I could actually just plug these into my computer motherboard, plug them into my controller and use them no problem. Obviously there's no mic on them. The audio quality is fantastic. If you are in the market for the very best gaming audio you can get, then this is up there. These are the DT990 edition. I will be doing a full review on these. You can also get the DT990 Pros. They're about £104 on Amazon. And of course, if you put that together with a mod mic, here's a picture of the mod mic, and you can see how you attach it to a pair of headphones. I haven't got one yet for my DT990s, but as I say, the game audio sounds so great for the DT990s that I'm really tempted to get one. Probably will end up getting a mod mic, and when I do, I'll definitely do a full review of that. The mod mic, I think the version 5 is about £60 at the moment on Amazon, but you can get the version 4 for about £40. So if you put a mod mic on like the DT990s or the closed back DT770s, you're going to end up with a fantastic gaming headset. Still going to have to manage the leads. There'll be a lead from the headset and a lead from the mod mic, which is a bit of a kerfuffle. But then if you want higher sound quality, that's really the way to go. But it's nice to have the full package. It's nice to have everything integrated. You've got one lead. Definitely check out the Stingers if you want a cheaper option. Okay, so here is a picture of the Cloud Stingers. Now they are a plastic construction, they're not metal like the Alphas, but they are half the price and the microphone on them is actually really rather good. A friend of mine has bought this headset. He actually bought them on sale for about £20, which is a fantastic buy. They have 5cm drivers. With the Stingers you can actually rotate the ear cups so you can rest them on your chest, around your neck. So if you're in the market for a budget headset, the Cloud Stingers should definitely be on your radar. Hopefully I've given you a lot to think about and you found this review helpful. If you did, then please drop me a thumbs up. That's really appreciated. And thanks for watching. Goodbye.